Base Gardener here, and today I'm going to elaborate a little further on the declining living standards here in Canada. I'm a millennial, and so I had the full scope of opportunity in Canada available to me. I was able to go to college after high school and get a great job working for the government while I was in school, and got a permanent job shortly after I graduated. And I find it really disheartening that when I talk to young people today, those opportunities just aren't available to them anymore. And so it's a problem I've been thinking about, and the way I like to think about it is jumping off of the hamster wheel. So I think many of us these days feel like we're running in circles all day, getting nowhere, just so that we can fill our food dish at the end of the work week. And this is just maddening. For most people, it just feels impossible to get ahead these days. So I know the solution for me was I decided I wanted to reduce my expenses as much as possible so that I didn't feel completely trapped in my day-to-day with no ability to change my situation. And so what we did is we sold our little trailer up north and we bought property with my mom. So she sold her house as well, and together we were able to come up with a sizable chunk of money we could put not just to a down payment, but to pay off a significant portion of our house and our property. And so our monthly expenses are minimal, and that gives us a lot of financial freedom. And I know this isn't realistic for absolutely everybody. We don't all have family who's willing to go along with an idea like that. But even if it just means renting with some friends, before I got into this situation, one of the things I loved to do was just live with roommates. And so often we would rent a big house with 4 or 5 other people. And this was a great way to reduce expenses as well. And I found, especially when you're younger, it's a great situation. You get to spend time with your friends. Of course, problems come up. We all know what that's about. But it's a great way to have a low cost of living and spend time with other people and be social. But in the end, anything we can do to reduce our expenses to the bare minimum, jump off that hamster wheel, is a great way to deal with the financial conditions of this day and age. One of the things I noticed was that I'm not as stuck in any given situation. So I've worked a few different jobs since we moved to our new property. And if I felt trapped and I didn't see any pathway of moving ahead in my work, I could leave on the best terms possible and explore other opportunities and have a little bit of a buffer so that I wasn't completely broke as soon as I left the job. And not only that, a lot of working conditions can be quite miserable these days because people feel so trapped. I think a lot of employers take advantage of that. And so one thing I try to do is in a job I'm working in, if I notice that something's going on that feels unjust or people are being taken advantage of, I call it out, because I have the financial freedom to be able to do those things and not worry quite so much about the consequences. And again, that feels like the right thing to do. It's terrible when not only are people trapped in employment they don't like, but their employers know that and take advantage of that. So anyway, just a few thoughts I have, and I'm curious to hear anybody else's perspective and what you've done to jump off the hamster wheel, have some more financial freedom in your own lives. Take care.